Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Friends, today in this video we will discuss about Schedule 3 of Section 7. Schedule 3 of Section 7 of CGST Act 2017 that gives us negative list of supply under GST. That gives us negative list of supply under GST. Friends, we have already discussed Schedule 1 and 2 of Section 7. Thus today we will discuss Schedule 3 of Section 7. Schedule 3 of Section 7 provides negative list of supply, means it gives us list of activities on which GST will not be applicable, means that will not cover under the scope of supply. As we know that supply word is very important in GST because GST will be applicable only in supply of goods and services. If there is no supply, no GST will be applicable. The Schedule 2 of Section 7 provides the positive list of supply, means the activities on GST on which GST will be applicable, whereas Schedule 3 of GST CGST Act provides the negative list of supply. It means on which GST will not be applicable. So let's understand Schedule 3 in some parts. As we know that scope of supply has been described in Section 7 of CGST Act that contains 3 schedules, Schedule 1, 2 and 3. Schedule 2 provides positive list of GST, whereas Schedule 3 provides negative list of GST. Now come to the Section 7 subsection 2. Section 7 subsection 2 describes the activities which shall be treated neither as supply of goods nor as supply of services. Activities which shall be treated neither as supply of goods nor as supply of services. It means the activities that will not cover under the scope of supply described by Section 7 subsection 2. The following activities are and the transactions shall be treated neither as supply of goods nor as supply of services. Section 7.2 subsection A and Section 7.2 subsection B. Section 7.2 subsection A describes the activities or transactions specified in Schedule 3, whereas Section 7 subsection 2 describes the activities notified by the government. Activities notified by the government. This describes the list of activities on which government has power to make any changes from time to time. इट मीन्स कुछ लिस्ट ऑफ एक्टिविटीज़ हैं जिसमें गवर्नमेंट के पास पावर है कि गवर्नमेंट उसमें कुछ भी चेंज कर सकते हैं, लाइक उस पर जीएसटी लगेगा या नहीं लगेगा वो गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड कर सकती है. और गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ नोटिफिकेशन, कुछ सर्कुलर्स निकाले भी हैं जिसे हम वीडियो के एंड में डिस्कस करेंगे. नाउ कम टू द Schedule 3. Schedule 3 describes the negative list of supplies. So there are 6 types of activities. These activities covered under Schedule 3, and these activities, on these activities GST will not be applicable because these activities will not come under the scope of supply. The first one is the services by an employee to employer in course or in relation of employment. Listen carefully, this word is very important. In course or in relation of employment means services given by an employee to an employer under the employment agreement will not be treated as supply under GST, like salaries, like perquisites, like perks received by an employee from the employer in course or in furtherance of, like in course of employment. So any services given by an employee to the employer in course of employment or any consideration received by the employee, on that consideration GST will not be applicable, but the relation should be pure employment relation. Means in normal course of action, the consideration received by an employee from the employer in return of services provided by him will not be subject to GST. Pure employment relation में अगर employee को कुछ भी employer से मिलता है in form of consideration, on that consideration GST will not be applicable. However, some more activities are there that are not in pure relation of employment, but that will not cover under the scope of GST because that is indirectly related with the employment. Like for example, these 4 activities are there. The first one is the any amount received by an employee from the employer on premature termination of contract. any amount received by an employee from the employer on premature termination. Premature termination is important here. Suppose for example there is a contract of service between the employee and the employer for 2 years. It means at least for 2 years employee will serve the employer. He cannot leave the job before 2 years. In the same way, employer cannot terminate him before the completion of bond period. But if employer to do so, he will be liable to pay consideration for the remaining period of bond. अगर एम्प्लॉय और एम्प्लॉयर के बीच में कुछ बॉन्ड साइन हो रखा है कि अप टू 2 years और अप टू 3 years एम्प्लॉयज आर रेस्ट्रिक्टेड टू सर्व फॉर द एम्प्लॉयर, दे कैन नॉट लीव द जॉब. In that situation, even if employer terminated that employee, employer will be responsible to pay to employee up to the bond period the extra consideration. Consideration pay करने के लिए employer responsible है. Now the question arises, on this consideration GST will be applicable or not? Thus no, GST will not be applicable because this activity will cover under the relation of employment, and all those activities that cover under the relationship of employment, on those activities GST will not be applicable. So GST here, GST will not be applicable like bond of employment terminated by the employer. The second one is the services provided by casual worker to employer who gives wages on daily basis. Services provided by casual worker. Casual worker here important. Casual worker means the workers who works on daily basis, but they do not serve for the 12 months under employment. Means they are not at the payroll of employer. Means the workers who are not permanent workers of the company. These workers may be specifically hired for like any project or for any specific location or for any specific job. Means जब employer एम्प्लॉयज़ को परमानेंटली अपने पेरोल पे नहीं हायर करता है, फॉर सम स्पेसिफिक पर्पस कुछ पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड के लिए हायर करता है, तो वो कैजुअल वर्कर्स होते हैं. नाउ द क्वेश्चन अराइजेस, वेजेस पेड टू दीज वर्कर्स विल कम अंडर द स्कोप ऑफ सप्लाई. Will it be liable for GST? No, this will not, because this will come under the course or in relation of employment, and all those activities that comes under the scope or relationship of employment, that activities will not cover under the scope of supply, thus GST will not be applicable. Thus here GST will not be applicable. This third one is the hiring casual workers by agency or contractor and deploying them. Hiring casual workers, again casual workers, but these casual workers are hired by agency or contractor. Agency or contractor means who works as a mediator between the company and the workers. It means when companies, they do not directly hire the workers in place, they give work contracts to any agency and that agency hire the workers on behalf of the company. जब कंपनी वर्कर्स को डायरेक्टली ना हायर करके किसी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर या एजेंसी को वर्क देती है कि आप हमारा ये काम करवाओगे वर्कर से, तो डायरेक्टली नहीं बट इनडायरेक्टली एम्प्लॉयमेंट का रिलेशनशिप है बिटवीन द कंपनी एंड द वर्कर्स. लाइक कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स, लाइक सिक्योर अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स, जनरली एजेंसी के थ्रू होता है. नाउ द क्वेश्चन अराइजेज, इज देयर एनी रिलेशनशिप ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट बिटवीन द कंपनी एंड द वर्कर्स? द आंसर इज yes. The wages paid by the agency to the workers will be treated in course of employment and GST will be applicable on that consideration, because not directly but indirectly the company is associated with worker. There is employment relationship between the worker and the company. There is employment relationship between the worker and the company. Thus company will be responsible to pay GST. GST will be applicable on the wages paid to workers. The next one is the amount paid as compete fees for not joining a competing business to employee. For not joining a competing business to employee. Competing business here important. This is exception of schedule 3 that you need to remember that this is exception of schedule 3. Means if employees are paid some consideration by the employer for not joining any competing business of employer, that consideration will come under the scope of supply, means GST will be applicable on that consideration. अगर employer अपने employee को कहता है कि उसका कोई competing business नहीं join करना है, not to act, not to join the competing business, and in that case if employer is paying some consideration to employee कि आप हमारे competing business को नहीं join कर सकते हो, In that situation, that will come under the scope of supply. This consideration will come under the scope of supply. ये negative list का basically part नहीं है, ये exception है. One more important point that here we have to note down, that gifts of the value more than rupees 50,000 by an employer to employee without consideration will be subject to GST. If employer is giving any gift to employee, the value of gift is more than rupees 50,000, that will come under the scope of supply and GST will be applicable on that. इसका मतलब कि अगर employer अपने employee को किसी एक ऐसे gift को देता है जिसकी value 50,000 से ज़्यादा की है, that will come under the scope of supply. वो employment relation में नहीं आएगा. So here first point we have covered, and in first point there are 4 sub points that we have covered. Now come to the second point. Second point is services by any court or tribunal established by any law for the time being in force. Services by any court or tribunal. Any court or tribunal here means district court, high court and supreme court. It means services provided by district court, high court or supreme court for the public. Means all the services provided by these courts to the public will not be covered under the scope of supply. So GST will not be applicable. It is for this reason it is there in the negative list. All the services provided by these courts for the public health, for the public welfare, for the public within their capacity will not come under the scope of supply. The next one is the functions of government. Functions of government means duties of government. Some functions performed by government for the public, means for the public welfare, will not be covered under the scope of supply. Now what are these functions? These functions are functions performed by members, duties performed by any person who holds any post as per constitution, and duties of chairperson, members, directors of any establishment. Functions performed by members means all the activities performed by these members on behalf of the government. Who are the members? Members may be members of parliament, members of state legislature, members of panchayats, members of local authorities, because all these are government members. So functions, all the activities performed by these members on behalf of the government for the public under their authority will not be liable to GST. But if they are working, they are doing any activity beyond their authority, beyond their capacity, beyond their powers, that may come under the scope of GST. अगर वो अपनी कैपेसिटी, अपनी अथॉरिटी के अंदर रह के पब्लिक वेलफेयर के लिए कोई काम करते हैं, then GST will not be applicable because that will not come under the scope of supply. But beyond their capacity, if they are working, अपनी अथॉरिटी के बाहर जाके वो कोई काम कर रहे हैं, दैट मे कम अंडर द स्कोप ऑफ GST. The next one is the duties performed by any person who holds any post as per constitution. Who holds any post as per constitution means duties of the constitutional body. Who are the constitutional body? Means the functions performed by any person who act as the post of government, who act as the constitution, post of constitution, will not cover under the scope of supply, like functions of President of India. We can take example of President of India. We can take example of Prime Minister of India. They are the constitutional body. Controller and Auditor General of India. Likewise, Attorney General of India. They are the constitutional body. They are the constitutional body. If they are performing any duties for the public welfare, this will not cover under the scope of supply, under the scope of GST, and GST will be not applicable on these activities. But the question here is that they are working within their constitutional capacity. If they are working beyond their constitutional capacity, then GST may be applicable. Then next one is the duties of chairpersons, directors, members of any establishment. Duties of chairpersons, directors, members of any establishment. What is the meaning of establishment here? So establishment here means any entity owned and controlled by central government or state government or local authorities. It means any of the government owned establishment, government owned entity. It means the functions performed by the members of any government owned or controlled companies within their capacity will not cover under the scope of supply. Means GST will not be applicable on these functions. अगर कोई ऐसी कंपनी या एंटिटी है जो कि कंट्रोल्ड, कंप्लीटली कंट्रोल्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटीज, तो उन कंपनीज के जितने भी डायरेक्टर्स हैं, जितने भी चेयरपर्सन्स हैं या फिर जितने भी मेंबर्स हैं, अगर वो पब्लिक के लिए कोई भी अपनी कैपेसिटी के अंदर कोई भी फंक्शन परफॉर्म करते हैं, दैट विल नॉट कवर अंडर द स्कोप ऑफ GST. सो नाउ 3 points we have covered under negative list. Now come to the fourth point. Fourth point is related with the services of funeral, burial, crematorium or mortuary, including transportation of the deceased. Including transportation of the deceased. It means along with funeral expenses, transportation expenses also included under this point. Means all the expenses related to funeral of the deceased will not cover under the scope of supply. किसी भी person के death पे, उसके अंतिम संस्कार से related अगर कोई भी expenses होता है, उस expenses पे GST नहीं लगेगा. क्यों नहीं लगेगा? क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट का सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर होता है कि पर्सन की डेथ हो गई है तो उससे कोई टैक्स ना लिया जाए. एंड द मेन पॉइंट हियर इज along with the expenses of funeral, the expenses related to transportation of the deceased, on the expenses related to transportation of the deceased person, GST will not be applicable. इट मीन्स डिसीज पर्सन के ट्रांसपोर्टेशन पे अगर कोई एक्सपेंसेस हुआ है, लाइक एयर एम्बुलेंस के एक्सपेंसेस हैं, लाइक रोड एम्बुलेंस के एक्सपेंसेस हैं, तो उस पर भी GST नहीं लगेगा. द नेक्स्ट वन इज द सेल ऑफ लैंड और बिल्डिंग. सेल ऑफ लैंड और बिल्डिंग. Many times we have discussed this point in schedule 2, that was the positive list of supply. Here we have to remember that sale of immovable property is not covered in the definition of goods in GST. Sale of immovable property, land and building are immovable property. So sale of immovable property is not covered in the definition of goods in GST. Thus land and building are the immovable property, these are not goods. Thus consideration on sale of building, on consideration on sale of land will not cover under the scope of supply, so GST will not be applicable on that. However, we need to remember here that only ready to move, in case of only ready to move building, GST will not be applicable. But if the building is under construction and the builder, he has not received any certificate of completion and he has received some advance from the customer, so on that advance GST will be applicable, and that we have already discussed in schedule 2. The next point is the actionable claims other than lottery, betting, gambling, etc. Actionable claims will not come under the scope of GST, but some exceptions are there, and exceptions are lottery, betting, gambling, etc. Winning from lottery, winning from betting, winning from gambling, etc. In the definition of goods under GST, actionable claims are included, if you remember. Now, what are the actionable claims? Actionable claims means claims towards any debt like lottery, like gambling, etc. If we have put some money on the purchase of lottery, and we win the lottery, then obviously we will claim for the money against lottery. So these are actionable claims. In the same way, matured amount of fixed deposits, matured amounts of insurance, etc. are actionable claims. Why? Because insurance claim के केस में क्या होता है, every year we pay premium, and along with premium we pay GST also, but at the time of maturity the lump sum amount that we received on that GST will not be applicable. Why? Because we have already paid GST at the time of payment of premium every year. So at the time of maturity ये एक्शनेबल क्लेम है, इस पे GST नहीं लगेगा. इन दिस सेम वे, बट सम एक्सेप्शंस आर देयर. GST विल बी एप्लीकेबल ऑन द विनिंग ऑफ लॉटरी, ऑन द विनिंग ऑफ बेटिंग, ऑन द विनिंग ऑफ गैम्बलिंग, इस पे GST लगेगा. So thus we have completed 6 points here in in section 7(2)(a). We have completed 6 points, and these 6 points are the relationship of employer and employees. The second one was the like any expenditure that we made, any activities of the court, of the tribunals. Then functions of government, some functions of government are covered under the negative list. Along with that, expenses on funeral, burial and the transportation expenses of the deceased person will cover under the negative list. Then sale of land and building will cover under the negative list, and along with that, actionable claims other than lottery, betting and gambling will cover under the negative list. Now come to the part 2, that is section 7(2) subsection B, that is related with the activities notified by the government. Activities notified by the government means some activities are there on which government may notify, means government has power to include or not to include in the scope of supply time to time. इसका मतलब गवर्नमेंट के पास पावर ऐसा है कि वो उसे इंक्लूड करे या ना इंक्लूड करे सप्लाई में. कुछ एक्टिविटीज़ हैं जिसके लिए गवर्नमेंट के पास पावर्स होते हैं कि वो टाइम टू टाइम उसमें चेंजेस करती रहती है, उसे सप्लाई में इंक्लूड करे या ना करे. हाउएवर गवर्नमेंट हैज़ इशूड सम सर्कुलर ऑन विच GST will not levy. Some circular are issued by CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. Some circulars have been issued by the CBDT on which GST will not be levied. It means that will not cover under the scope of supply, that will cover in the negative list. For example, interstate movement of various modes of conveyance. Interstate movement of various modes of conveyance. Modes of conveyance, conveyance here means vehicle like train, like buses, like truck, like aircraft, etc. On interstate transfer of these vehicles, GST will not be applicable. What is the meaning of interstate transfer here? Interstate transfer here means transfer of goods, services, machineries or people from head office of a company to its different branches in different states, or from one branch to the other branch in different states for consumption. That here we need to remember, for consumption, not for further supply, will not cover under the scope of सप्लाई. इसका मतलब किसी कंपनी की ब्रांच है और ब्रांच अपने किसी कंपनी का हेड ऑफिस है, हेड ऑफिस अपने ब्रांचेस जो डिफरेंट स्टेट्स में है, उन ब्रांचेस को मशीनरीज दे रही है, सर्विसेज सप्लाई कर रही है, गुड्स सप्लाई कर रही है. इन दैट सिचुएशन जीएसटी विल नॉट बी एप्लीकेबल. उसमें जीएसटी नहीं लगेगा, बट दैट शुड बी फॉर द कंजप्शन ऑफ द ब्रांचेस, दैट शुड नॉट बी फॉर द फर्दर सेल बाय द ब्रांचेस. ब्रांचेस में के थ्रू वो फर्दर सेल के लिए नहीं होना चाहिए, वो कंजप्शन के लिए होना चाहिए. इन द सेम वे, in case of interstate movement of rigs, tools and spares and all goods on wheels like cranes, that is transferred by the branches, by the one branch in one state to the other branch, or that is transferred by the head office to the branches for consumption, not for further supply, will not cover under the scope of supply. However, one point here we have to note is that repair or maintenance of vehicle on the way of transportation will cover under the scope of supply. Like for example, कोई ट्रक है, कोई बस है जो रास्ते में ख़राब हो गया है और उसके ख़राब होने पे उसके रिपेयर एंड मेंटेनेंस पे कुछ एक्सपेंसेस हुए हैं. सो ऑन that expenses GST will be applicable because that will cover under the scope of supply. So GST will be applicable on that. Thus, here we have completed 6 points in schedule 3, and along with that we have also completed some circulars and some other important points that notified under section 7(2)(b). Thank you so much.